How y'all doing? Right, let's get this starter clutch fitted into the, I was going to say GTR1000 then, but it's not. It's the GTR1000. Anyway, let's get on with it. Okay, so that's all the bits and bobs for the starter clutch. It's all the best bits I've picked out. They all go onto the alternator shaft. And the starter clutch is in there, I think. It's like a cog what spins one way and locks the other, if you know what I mean. So anyway, this piece goes on first. We can put the chain on if we want to, or do it after. Just goes to the back like that. We've got these little cush drive rubbers. They just go into there like that. Just interlock into the little splines. Like so. And then we want this wing bit, whatever it's called, I don't know. And that just slots into the slots. Like so. We want the washer. The flat side inwards, it's got a slight taper on it. Have that going outwards. There we can put the nut on. And there we go. Then we can pull this cog off. Put it into the chain. Hopefully get the cog back on, like so. Then we can get the big washer and the large bolt. Screw that into there. Doesn't say anything in the book about thread lock, but it does say about thread lock of the chain guide, which goes just there. Okay, then, so the big nut is 43 foot-pounds. The smaller nut is 18 foot-pounds, and the nut inside the alternator shaft is 9 foot-pounds. Put blue Loctite on it just in case. That is 18 foot-pounds, like I say. Well, that's it. Well, that's not a lot, is it? Okay, so we just push the chain guide onto there. Then we want the bolt, but we want thread. Put a bit of thread lock on the bolt. Then we can place that into there. He says. There we go. Flipping heck, I thought that wasn't going to go in then. So there's just that one, but you don't need to see that. So what next? Can't find a torque wrench setting for this little bolt, so just a little spanner, good and tight, but not too tight. We now need to fix the tensioner, but that needs a good clean up, so I'll be back in a bit. Right then, so we have to set this up so we can put it into place and then unlock it so it adjusts the stator chain. I'll try to show you the best I can. Basically, this little spike has to go up into this little hole, but you have to bend that down as well at the same time. So it keeps the tensioner unactivated. So we've got to push that into there. Is that done it? Is that locked? No. Ow. I'll try that again. I might have to do this off camera because it might take forever. Right. Push it all the way up. Please be locked. Oh, damn it. If anybody knows an easier way of doing this, let me know in the comments. Push that through there. Please be locked. Now we have to very carefully put this onto the engine. And we do need Loctite on the bolt, so I'll do that now. And in the GTR1000 RX it says put grease on the washer to hold it in place there. But on the GTR1000 it doesn't say anything at all about a washer. Let's very carefully try to fit that so it doesn't explode and unactivate. If I try to get the top bolt in first. Oh my god. The bottom bolt. Get my trusty little spanner to torque them up. Should do. That'll do. We have to touch this little trigger or something. Ah, there we go. Perfect. Right, I'm going to put this engine cover on just loosely now to stop getting any dirt in there. Okay, so that's all nicely cleaned up. Just plonk it on there for now. Just put a few bolts in it that I found. Just pinch those up. The final one. Okay, so that'll do for now. Now I can lie the engine on this side and work on the other side. Right then, due day, let's have another half an hour in the shed before the paint starts getting too unbearable. So we've got the engine lying down on this side now so we can get all these little bits in, which are just there, 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 and over there, and some little bits down there. I've had a little tinker about with stuff, and first I think we can get the alternator in. I have tightened that bolt up, I did remember. First we could put these little cush drives into there. Plonk them in there like that. I think there's 4 of them, and the bolted at 4. There we go. Make sure they're all in line. There's 2 bolts at the top, 1 bolt at the bottom. So there's 1 bolt, there's 2 bolts. So it goes in that way. Just try to make sure they're lined up. And we should be able to drop in. Ah. Is that it? Yep, that's it. And we've got 6mm threads, 12mm ends. Just stick them in. 2 number 3. Just snug them down. Just pinch them up good and tight, but not too tight. That'll do for that one. That'll do for that one, and that'll do for that one. So now we've got that on, we can get the starter motor in. Still got a solenoid attached to it, look. So obviously it slots into that hole down there. There's 2 fixing points there, which I believe go to those 2 fixing points there. Put a bit of oil on the little seal. Try and get the splines lined up, and then that's it. 2 10mm bolts. Can't find any torque wrench settings for these 2 in the book. Screw them all the way down. Don't give them a bit of a whittle and they'll go in. Just use a little 10mm spanner to tighten them up. Not too tight, but good and tight. That should do. Right, then we've got the gear selector shaft, which just drops into this little hole here. There's a little circlip halfway down the shaft, and there's a little washer on top of that circlip. And we've got this little scorpion shaped bracket which goes onto those 2 pins just there. It slides up and down like that. Then we'll just whack that in there. Put Mr. Scorpion bracket on. And push it down again. There we are, I think that's it. I've got to try and fiddle with this clip. Is that it? I think that's it. So that's all that. Now I've just got to work out how all this connects up. First I'll give it a good clean. So I'll be back in a bit. Oh. Right, so that's all this final drive cleaned up. That's the push rod oil seal. And that's the gear shifter oil seal. And I have heard on the forums that they can fail. So I'm going to replace them. It should pop out with a screwdriver. There we go. Oh, that has like a metal casing. My one has a rubber casing. Hope they're the same. Pop that there. Then we need the appropriate size socket. Tap it into place. Just make sure all the sides are flush. Perfect. One down, one to go. Just pull it out with a screwdriver. They look the same, but it doesn't quite look. As deep. Hope that's all right. Let's try to clean up in there a bit with the wire brush. Pop that in there. And that'll do for that one. So let's make sure we've got the dowels in. Fit the gasket over the dowels. Fit this knuckle. Then we fit this spring. And I think that's it. Now we can put the lid on. So let's try and plonk that on there. The crash, bang, whoosh, whoosh, wallop. We'll turn that, see if that makes any help. Just give it a wiggle and a wobble, and a twiddle and a twoggle. Should go on. He says. Yeah, it's not quite meeting up down here for some reason. Maybe it's because of the spring holding it up. Let's try putting the bolts in and screwing them down, see if we can pinch it up. We'll get the speed brace with the 10mm. Try to pinch them up even. Pinch it up. Yep, they've come loose again, so it must be working. they've come loose again. See if these have come loose. Yep, they've come loose. These come loose again. Yep. I think that's the trick. Just keep going round and round. That should eventually close up, I hope. Get that all pinched up. Perfectly splendid. Now that's what I'm talking about. Look at that. Okay then, so there's one more hole. That's for the water pump. We've got that one. And we've got that one. Which one would you choose? Before I do that, I'll put a new seal on it. Okay, so we'll try to get the old one off. Go on, you bugger. There we go. Let's give that a clean in there. Nice and clean. Okay, so we've got the new seal. I'll put a bit of silicone grease on that. I didn't show you on the other oil seals. Should do. We could plug that over there. All the way down to there. And then we could put the lid on this. But before we put the lid on, it's probably best to leave that off until I've got it located in there so I can spin that. Slot that in there. I think that's it. Get out of the way, you bugger. Oh yeah, that's it. There we go. Get the new gasket for the top of that. This is a few days later. We're having a bit of trouble with our water pump lid. This is the old O-ring gasket, which obviously we don't want to trust, so we're not going to use that. The problem is, the new one doesn't want to fit. You get it round so far, and it just keeps pulling out. Bugger. I've tried the aluminium trick, putting it in hot water, still no good. So what I'm trying now is, this is where we're up to. 2 days ago, I put some of that stuff into that groove around there. They're about halfway I got to, like so, up to there, and I left it a couple of days, thinking I'd be able to get this side on, but it's still springing off, so I've done the same. I put the gasket glue up to there and moulded it on with tape, so if I leave that till tomorrow, hopefully the O-ring will stay in there. So what I've decided to do while I'm waiting is fix all the stator coils in. So let's do that. That one just sticks in there. Got these little 8mm bolts. We'll put them into the tool because I don't want to drop them, because there is a hole straight through the engine down there and a hole straight through the engine down there. Put something there to stop it dropping down, like my finger. Yes, put your finger down there, Johnny, then you won't be able to drop it down the hole. That's it, we've got it. Just pinch them up. Oosh, poo. Oosh, pop. That's them too. There we've got this one. Push that little rubber into the rubber bunghole. Rubber bunghole. Yes, rubber bunghole. That'll do. We could line that one up. Screw the screw into there. Hopefully you can see that screwing into there. That's that one. Then we could do this one. Screw that into there. Pinch that up. Whoosh, boom. Pinch that one up. Flippy plop. And that's it. We've got the stator coils in. Now we can put the lid on. Okay, so we can make sure that wire's tucked down there. We can put the gasket on with the curve going to the curve. Uh-oh. Yeah, that don't look right. Whew. Thank God for that. It's upside down, Johnny. We can put that on there. Where's the lid? And we can plug that lid onto there. Line the gasket up with the screws on that side. Do that one down there. One up there. One over there. One there. The final one in there. Screw all those in loosely for the moment. There we go. Pinch all those up with our little 8mm spanner. Please don't tell me the thread's gone on that one. Whew. Thank you, Lord. That's it, give them all a little final pinch up. There we go. Right, still while we're waiting for this to dry, I've took this cover off again to give it a bit of oil, and then I'm going to put the new gasket on so it's done. You just squirt oil around everything what's going to move. Diddly 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 diddly, splash splash splash. Right then, plonk the gasket onto there. And we can plug the lid on the top. Try and line that one up. Okay, so that's all the screws in, the little holes. Let's pinch them all up. Yeah, we could go round with our little 8mm spanner, pinch them all up. Last one. And there we go. Okay, so one last job before we attempt taking that tape off there. If you remember on the other video, I only had 3 bolts. I managed to get these off eBay. 10 quid. And if you notice, it says 1997 Kawasaki GPZ 500. Will they fit? Well, that's what they look like. Look just the same to me. Hopefully that barrel bit there is the same length as those. Let's whip them out. Yes, perfectly the same, perhaps a little bit rustier. Oh yes, they're the same. Absolutely perfectly splendid. And hopefully we can lift that off there. The gasket stays on, yes, lovely. Could give a good old squirt in there with the oil. We could get these new gasket bits for the spark plugs. They're going to stay in there without dropping off. Wad. And the last one. There we go. Like in the book it says in these moon shapes, got to put a bit of silicone sealant. Not too much. Just wipe that in with our finger. I think that'll do, so don't want too much on there. Same on this side, but you can't see. Hello. And we can wipe that off on our trousers. And we can plonk the lid back on. We can plonk our new bolts in. Screw them all the way home, finger tight. Tighten them up evenly all the way round. Like that, you'll feel that, like that one's just locked. So you know that barrel part is touching the cylinder head. Fantastic. So if you're doing a GPZ 1000 RX or even a GTR 1000 and you're missing some rocker cover bolts, it looks like all the GPZs are interchangeable. Okay then, this is the next day. Let's see if we can get the lid on. Right then, let's carefully take the tape off. Pulling it off with it. Please stay stuck. Please stay in place. Yes, quick, get it on, Johnny. Let's get these two fixing bolts in first. Oh, come on, please don't mess me about. I'll get these two little bolts in first. That's them tightened down. I don't think that seal's going to go anywhere. Try and get the fixing bolts tightened down. 2, 3, 4. Oh yes. Now that's what I'm talking about. Look at that. For a 1000cc motorcycle, that is one big heart. Yes, look at that. Looking good to say it looked like this a few months ago. And then it looked like this. You can actually see there's a major fracture all the way through the crankcase. And now it looks like this. Okay, so there we go. Probably half an hour for you lot, but probably 2 weeks for me to make this video. I mean, if you go back in time, it's took me months to build this. Half an hour every now and then in the shed. So I hope you've enjoyed this video as much as I've enjoyed making it. Please leave a comment giving me your thoughts on this project. And the more comments I get, and thumbs up or even thumbs down, helps with the algorithms, whatever they're called. Thanks for watching. Ta-ra!
I'll see you in another life, brother.